Picture this for a moment. It is late at night, the clock says 3:07 a.m., and you are wide awake, staring at the ceiling. Your mind refuses to rest. You keep replaying every possible money problem that could crash into your life tomorrow. The fridge has been making that strange noise for weeks. The car insurance is due next month. The credit card bill is heavier than usual, and then that familiar question creeps in. What if something big breaks and I cannot afford it? If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. For most people, financial worry is not about greed or wanting luxury. It is about safety. It is about the quiet fear that one small emergency could knock everything down. But here is the interesting part. There is a number, a very specific amount, that has the power to silence a lot of that fear. It is not $1 million, and it is not even 6 figures. It is just enough to make you feel secure, but not yet rich. That number is $10,000. At first, it does not sound life-changing. After all, you hear about people making that in a single month online, or spending that much on a vacation. But when that $10,000 is saved, not earned, not borrowed, but truly yours, everything begins to shift. It is not just a pile of cash. It is a psychological barrier between you and panic. It gives you breathing room. It lets you think more clearly, make better choices, and stop living in constant defense mode. And that is what this story is really about. How your entire relationship with money, work, and even yourself begins to change once you cross that $10,000 mark. So why is $10,000 such a powerful milestone? Because it represents something far bigger than the money itself. It is the first time most people can breathe without constantly worrying about the next expense. Think about what $10,000 does for your life. It can cover a few months of rent, it can handle a car repair, or it can save you when an unexpected medical bill hits. But beyond all of that, it gives you a pause, a moment where you realize you have options. You are no longer trapped in the cycle of survival. And that pause changes everything. You stop chasing every opportunity out of desperation. You start choosing the right ones with intention. You are no longer working just to make ends meet. You are working to build something. The $10,000 milestone is not about the number in your account. It is about control. Control over your time, your decisions, and the direction of your life. It is the first real step toward financial freedom. Not the glamorous version you see online, but the real, quiet kind, where you finally have the power to say, "I will be okay." Here is what most people do not realize. The power of saving $10,000 is psychological. It reshapes your relationship with money on a level that goes far beyond math. Before this milestone, money feels like water slipping through your fingers. You earn it, you spend it, and you hope the next paycheck comes fast enough. But once you see that 5-digit balance in your account, your brain rewires itself. You stop seeing money as something that constantly disappears and start seeing it as something that protects you. This is not about greed. It is about safety and peace of mind. Every decision, whether to buy that new phone, go out for dinner, or take on extra work, starts coming from a place of calm instead of panic. You stop asking, "Can I afford this today?" and start thinking, "Does this really matter to me?" That tiny shift changes your entire financial identity. You start valuing peace more than possessions, and that is where real growth begins. Once you have $10,000 saved, something interesting happens. You start moving through life with a quiet confidence. It is not that you suddenly become fearless. It is that you finally have room to think clearly. Before that milestone, every decision feels like walking a tightrope without a safety net. One wrong move, and you could fall straight into crisis. But now you have a cushion. You can take small risks without fear of disaster. You might apply for a better job, start a small side project, or simply take a break to rethink what you truly want from your career. That safety net gives you the freedom to grow confidence. It turns out is not built from success. It is built from security, from knowing that you have your own back no matter what happens. That is the real value of saving. It is not about the digits on a screen. It is about the person you become because of them. Once you are no longer living paycheck to paycheck, something powerful starts to ripple through your life. You begin to notice opportunities you used to ignore, and relationships that used to feel heavy start to feel lighter. You stop saying yes to everything just because you need the money. You start saying yes to what aligns with your goals. That shift earns you respect, not just from others, but from yourself. Financial stress has a strange way of affecting our interactions. It makes us defensive, impatient, even fearful. But when you remove that constant background noise, you show up differently. You listen better, make wiser choices, and attract better outcomes. You begin to realize that money was never just about survival. It was about creating the space to be your best self, at work, in relationships, and in how you treat yourself. The moment you cross $10,000, you experience something deeper, an identity shift. You stop seeing yourself as someone who struggles with money, and you start seeing yourself as someone who manages it. That identity change matters more than you think, because the habits that got you here are the same ones that will take you to your next goal, whether that is $50,000, $100,000, or more. You start saying things like, "I save first," instead of, "I will save if something is left." You begin planning ahead, not reacting. The way you talk about money, think about money, and even feel about it begins to evolve. Saving is no longer a task, it becomes part of who you are. And that is how long-term wealth is built. Not from a single big win, but from a consistent identity shift that keeps compounding over time. Now, there is something important to watch out for: the temporary savings diet. Many people get motivated, cut every expense, and sprint toward their first $10,000. But the moment they reach it, they relax, spend a little, and before they know it, they are back to zero. The problem is not discipline. It is sustainability. Saving should not feel like punishment. It should feel like progress. Instead of viewing $10,000 as a finish line, treat it like the starting point of a new lifestyle. Use it as proof that you can control your money and keep that momentum going. Avoid the trap of thinking, "I made it, now I can relax." The real success is when you no longer need to force good habits. They just happen naturally. That is when saving stops being an effort and becomes your normal way of life. Here is the truth. Financial freedom does not start at $1 million. It starts the moment you stop living in fear of the next emergency. That first $10,000 is more than a number. It is a promise to yourself that you are capable of building stability, peace, and confidence with your own hands. Once you experience that calm, you will never want to go back. You will realize that freedom is not about never worrying again. It is about knowing you can handle whatever comes next. So start where you are, save what you can. Watch your balance grow, and let it transform not just your bank account, but the way you live your life. Because peace of mind is not bought, it is built. My name is Finn, and I help people understand how small financial decisions can create massive long-term results. If you're interested in building real wealth, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if this information helps you.